that trains move, how many seats are available in the different categories, like in the sleeper class, third AC, second AC, first AC, XYZ. Okay. On that particular date and at that particular time, whether I can get the railway reservation. If you got the railway reservation, you need to cancel it down. What is your current status if it has been get as an RAC or waiting? These are all the kinds of things which you need to cover up in your web services, and it is a perfect example of web services only. Let's start up with the web services. Indian Railways has just created a software system which has a centralized database for it. That centralized database is getting all these kinds of stuff. They have created a software system in which all the railways reservation, a complete railway reservation, is being hosted on their website, on their application servers. Now what they are doing, they have exposed these kinds of stuff to the market. Yatra.com, MakeMyTrip.com, or there are so many travel portals, they are actually consuming up the services. If you make a railway reservation, let's say into the Lucknow Mail, okay, and you have got a seat B136 number, would it be possible that if you go with the with MakeMyTrip.com and can get the same seat? Never. If you can go to the IRCTC.com and you can get the same seat? Never. Because we have the centralized database that has been exposed to different portal systems, and they are actually getting up these all 6 kinds of things. This is the actual use of web services, and it is hot in demand. It is the current industry practices that they are basically using these kinds of things. We will cover up with the starting of the web services, the demand of the web services, and then later on we will go up with a practical session of web services today. Let's say web services contains the word web, and the web technologies matter. More and more people get connected using computers, televisions and mobiles. Everybody are aware of it. If you want to make your DTH connection, get your DTH connection, and you want to make a payment for your DTH connection, you can go directly onto their website. If you got a DTH connection from Airtel, you directly reach onto the Airtel website, and then you can do the DTH. Then you can make the payment. But in the similar manner, if you want to make to recharge your account, you can also reach on to different recharge website like freerecharge.in, or there are so many websites are available into the market. At the back end, if you want to make your recharge via net banking, via credit card, via debit card, or any kinds of things, today we have Airtel Money in the market also. These are all connected with all the payment gateway system. It's very, very good. You want to see that today we have bookmyshow.com. Bookmyshow.com is actually linked up with different movie halls. If you want to make a booking in Saket, in any PVR, then how you are going to do it? Firstly, you need to check whether the seats are available. If you are getting it in the previous moments, you will see that we have the balcony, first class, and so many classes. But today in the PVR system, we have a single categories. At the back, you will get rupees 120 or 350. In the front, you will get 80 or 150. This is the categories which we are getting it. But you might be aware that all these booking systems are linked up with the different websites. Let's start up with a common approach with it. I'm going to take an example of bookmyshow.com. How bookmyshow.com works. You firstly go, click this website, that www.bookmyshow.com. What will appear? A front screen where you have three options. First, you need to select the city, then you need to select the movie, and then you need to select the date. These three things are available. When you select up these three things, a list of cinema halls come with the different shows available into that particular movie theater. You will get a result like this: Saket, Pitampura, these kinds of shows available. From where you are getting it? If you go to PVR, to saketpvr.com website, you will directly get these kinds of shows. And over to the bookmyshow.com, you are also getting the same kinds of things. How is it possible? They have a single database system. Now we have, if you go into the traditional software system, what we have a single database system where you, whatever the things you insert it into the database, that is automatically getting converted as a data. And whenever you are going to retrieve that data, you will get all this information, whatever the information you have stored into your database system. But today, we want that particular database system to be exposed with all these kinds of stuff, and so that they can get it easily with a singular data. Now, when you click up to this particular 12:30 show, you will directly get a hall picture where all the seats are available. This is the thing which you get it after clicking up to 12:30 show. You select, if you want to get the two seats, you select it, and then connect it with your payment system. That 300 rupees you need to pay. This will connect it via the payment gateways. You need to select whether this should be done via debit card system, credit card system, or net banking. If you want to go forward for the net banking, then you need to select the payment gateway: HDFC Bank, ICICI, Axis Bank, or SBI, etc., etc. These are all being connected. How all these kinds of things are being connected with a single system? This is a perfect example of web services. Everything, every software on the web are exposed as a service, and they are getting it in the form of web services. This is a basic idea of web services. Let's start. Web services contain the word services, and we wonder why kind of services they will fulfill for us. We already have services on the web, so what is missing? This is the same thing. Saket has exposed his web services. BookMyShow is consuming that web services, and we are onto the singular system where we have a common database, where we have a common platform, where we can get the similar kinds of stuff. One more example. Find the tomato sellers. Yellow Pages contains the companies that are selling tomatoes, their location, and the contact information. If you want to get the list of tomato sellers into the market from yellowpages.com, yellowpages.com is directly connected with all these kinds of tomato sellers. We are connected with the tomato sellers. We are getting all these kinds of stuff, that what kind of tomatoes we are producing it, what is the what are the rates so far available into the market, what is the quality of the tomatoes. That the best quality, definitely it's going to give you the better rates, and the lowest cheapest qualities will be onto the small rate. Find the services offered according to my needs. Where, when, and how can I buy the tomatoes? Do the transactions, get onto the similar stuff. Earlier, what we have, the web applications, we are directly connected with the web approach, that you are the browser, you are sitting at the browser, whatever the data you are getting it from the web application, it is over the HTML format. HTML, we are quite aware of it. Hypertext markup language. We are getting it from the HTML. Whatever the data we have over here, hosted over here, you are directly reach over to that site, make call over the transaction, whatever the transaction you have, everything, and then you need to come back to your system. But again, whatever you are doing at this particular approach, at this particular site. You are not doing on your own site. Now, what we have, we are transferring the data in the form of XML. Now, so many challenges come when we are integrating up with the web services. My application is running in C. Your application is running in Java. There are some more applications, they are running in Visual Basic. These are all the different platforms. One is running on .NET. How we are integrating all these kinds of technologies into a singular pattern. This was the challenge which we have faced at the time of integration of web services. We have a common thing, that is XML. .NET also understand XML, Java understand XML, Visual Basic understand XML, even your C and C++ understand your XML. When we have a singular pattern that if everybody knows the XML, then why don't we create a singular pattern in which we can integrate all these applications using XML only? So this was the approach which have diverted the software developers into the mind of developing a web services, which we having a integrated approach by connecting all these applications using XMLs only. Web services requirement. This was all which I have discussed it right now. Applications need to communicate. Unless tomato buyers can communicate to tomato sellers, there will be no business. If I am a buyer and I don't know from where I can buy, I don't know the market, the sellers are unable to sell their products to the market. So we need to have a singular way, a single platform where the buyers and the sellers reach onto the single platform for selling and buying. The system must be scaled enough. As the tomato buyers and sellers are possible being able to use any kind of feature, new kind of tomatoes or any new kind of products, the potatoes, the video games, etc. At this particular time, we need the security. We need a security. We need a security system. In case IRCTC and Indian Railways, if they are connected, Indian Railways has created a system, and let's say any hacker will come, reach to their website, and they do the singular pattern. They do the singular pattern in which they are going to create the railway reservation again and again. They are creating a false railway reservation again and again in a single train. And what will happen? It will of no use. Whenever a common consumer is going to consume that particular reservation, he won't be getting any kind of railway reservation. This is all about the security. So at this particular moment of time, what we have decided that we should go with the secure system, so that any intruder cannot intrude into this particular services and cannot be able to make any kind of false transaction in it. Now we were having a simple problem that how can two or more applications communicate today? The ad hoc solution, unless you don't want to buy your own tomatoes, it won't be useful. Again, the same things. Language oriented solution like Java RMI works well if the tomato seller use your language. Service oriented architecture. SOA, service oriented architecture. Today it is latest and hot in demand in the current industry practices. What is service oriented architecture? Everything, every software, we have exposed it onto the web as in services. We have so many things like SaaS, software as a service. SOA, service oriented architecture. We have created the complete business scenario in the terms of services, and these services are being exposed and consumed by the different producers and the consumers. Now we will come on to the definition of web services. It is a software system identified by a URI whose public interfaces and bindings are defined and described using XML. When we have created a web services, okay, how the consumer is going to get that web service, how the consumer is going to identify that this is a web service, and how I am going to consume that web services. There should be a singular pattern in which we can create a web service, in which we can consume the web service. There should be a protocol used in it. These systems may then interact with the web service in a manner prescribed by definition using the XML based messages conveyed by internet protocols. We have so many internet protocols: HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, the file system, ShareNet protocols. There are so many protocols are being there available into the market, into the web. Again, we need to make the application which are loosely coupled. This should not be binded with each other. It should be loosely coupled so that any legacy system can be integrated by your web service approach. Reusable software components that semantically encapsulate discrete functionality and are distributed and programmatically accessible over standard internet protocols. Let me give you a very simple definition. If you come up with this example only, Saket Movie Hall, Pitampura, Rajouri Garden, Tagore Garden and XYZ are all integrated with a single approach with your bookmyshow.com. Let's say, if they are not going to expose any kind of software stuff onto the web, how I am going to get it? This bookmyshow.com has to integrate, has to dip into the system, into the database system of Saket, Pitampura, Rajouri Garden and Tagore Garden for getting the list of movies. Presently they are running it in their PVR halls. Then what we need to do, what are the show timings, what are the various classes, what are the rates they are producing it to the consumer, and then moreover how they are integrating with the payment gateway system. Everything you need to take care at your own system, at your own bookmyshow.com. But here in this case, we are just integrating with the different application stuff, and we are getting all these kinds of data from the different application, and we are integrating into our similar application, and we are producing it. Sometimes if you see that if you go many times, I have also faced a certain kinds of things in areas where I have integrated with a certain cinema hall using the bookmyshow.com, and I got an error. There seems some integration problem in connecting with the certain system. What is that? This is all about web services. They are integrating with the PVR halls, but unfortunately, it's due to some network problem, or there seems to be some issue with the existing system, and they are getting these kinds of problem. So these problems are also identified in the web services solution. But yes, these web services are exposed and are consumed in a very predefined format. Now let me understand what you get it from my introduction part of web services. It's quite class. Now let me know that what's your understanding about web services in my introductory session.
We are now aware that there is centralized database system which is being consumed by other services around. Like we are an app. You can say I am using an application. I want to use other service of some other website.
Exactly.
And I would be integrated by that using the same platform, and mainly now the integration is done on XML basis.
Exactly.
And
More than one application that are integrated with each other using the singular database pattern, okay, connected via XML, exposed over the internet. This is all about web services. Services that are being exposed on web is a web service. Now the definition comes true. Now coming on to the same pattern, why to use more than one computer? We have the distributed resource in the form of Saket movie system, Peterborough movie system, IRCTC, Yatra.com, Idea, Vodafone, HDFC payment gateway, ICICI payment gateway, debit card, credit card, Airtel money, XYZ. All are different system, but all of them are integrated with a single system. Bookmyshow.com, Yatra.com, myportal.com, funtravels.com, XYZ. Why we need to do it? Because we need to access the shared data, we need to access the shared program, we need to access to CPU. Example, many desktops and PCs are together to memory to special devices like printers. Let's say you are sitting it over here and you need to make a printout of your application that is being hosted somewhere in US. How you are going to do it? This is also possible using the web services. Complete independence on the internal implementation. Distributed architecture. It provides you the distributed resources, development, encapsulation, maintainability, reusability, legacy awareness, and implementation independence. How we are going to achieve it? Let's say if the external application is going to make any kind of changes, they need to tell you that this is the changes which we have done into our legacy system, and how you are going to access it. They are giving it in the XML format. We need to just parse that particular XML. Whatever the data which we are having in the XML, we are getting it. You don't need to make any kind of changes. Later on, we will come on to the different kinds of things which we are using it into our web services, the WSDL, the UDDI. These are all, and along with that, the protocols which we are also covering up in our web services session. It requires a synchronization, a communication layer between the part and the synchronization of efforts, including such nasty things as distributed garbage collection. The garbage collection should be definitely being taken care by the external application only, not with your application, because you are only consuming the web services. You are not the producer of your web services. This is only being done by your external application part. See, this distributed architecture. This is system 1 sending request. This is system 1 and this is system 2. It is a producer. It is a consumer. How we are getting it? Communication protocol with the data format. If let's say I want to get certain things from a database, how we are going to do it? Select history from employee where employee ID is equal to 101. What we have done? We have given the employee, that is the table name. It is also an input with 101, with the employee ID 101. Two things given as an input, and what you are getting it as an output: employee name, age, salary, XYZ. Whatever the things you are getting it from your database system, from your database table. Exactly into the similar pattern, we have the distributed architecture where we are going to send up the request that we need list of movie names that are currently running into the market. Basic questions are what kind of protocols to use and what data to transmit, what to do with the request onto the server side. These are the things which comes up when you are integrating your application system with the different application parts. This is the thing. Now, whenever a producer is going to produce the application stuff, they will definitely going to ask you how you are going to access my system. What is your basic requirement? What you need to get it from my system? If I am a railways, okay, you are Yatra.com, you need to ask me that how we are going to integrate with our application approach. And they will definitely say, Yatra.com obviously say that we want a travel portal. In this travel portal, what we need to do, we need to get the list of trains, the list of flights that are currently operating on that particular date. Okay, we need to get the timings. We need to search out for the details of the fare details. Along with that, if a person wants to go for a holiday trip, then the holiday part like hotels, along with taxi, I need to cover up each and everything. This is all about. This is the requirement. Okay. when this is your requirement, now I'll say that okay, fine, if this is your requirement, I'll share you an XML format, that in this particular XML format you need to cover up, you need to give me a certain input. This will be the desired format which I'll produce it to you. This is the integration protocol which we have, which will be developed between the Yatra.com along with your railways, or with the Jet Airways, or with the Kingfisher Airlines, anything. So this is the distributed architecture, where one application is waiting for request and other application is sending the request. It is a two-way protocol. When this particular application 2 is going to get the request, definitely it's going to search it into its application and then send the result in a desired format to the calling application. This was the existing approach. Now we come on to the CGI based. In the CGI based scripts, the data transmitted as a name value pair in the form of HTML. What is this name value pair? I want to get the list of employees. Okay, it will be into a desired format. Employee name should be coming in a key employee name, which will be emp/name, emp_name, or emp-name, any desired format. The key value pair. All of you are aware of Java? All of you are aware of Java, na? Then the map, collections map, aware of it, na? In the collections map, what we need to do, we need to give the key value pair. That was the traditional approach. In this key, you will get this value. Okay, this is the list of items and you will get it. But whenever you want to make a changes in your system, then how you are going to reflect it? You again need to send to the calling application that we have made a changes into our application. We need to change it like this way. The calling application again has to make the changes into their application, and you will get it. This was the problem which we faced in the existing scenarios. Now, this is the traditional CGI based approach, that data transmitted as a name value pair in the form of HTML in the HTML forms, transport over a stateless HTTP protocol, no standards for keeping user session, the statefulness, and the server side a script is called. At the server side a script is called. After it, we got a new technology, that is the CORBA based approach. CORBA is Common Object Request Broker Architecture. It is somewhere you can say it is a good approach over the CGI based technologies, in which we are transmitting the data in the form of objects. And you are all aware that in the Java we have everything related with the objects only. Whatever the data we are providing it to the external application, it will be in the form of objects only. This was the traditional approach which we got it into our CORBA, the transport usually over the standardized IIOP protocol with the user session and the server side RPC call is made. In this approach, we come up with the RPC, remote procedure calling. There is one remote object that is sitting into the server layer somewhere in XYZ location, and you are sitting in the PQR location. Now you want to connect with the PQR location with the XYZ location. RPC call was made in terms of Java. But again, it was only Java to Java, .NET to .NET, C to C, C++ to C++, not with the all other different application systems. Only with the singular kinds of pattern you have, you can communicate it. But again, it also got failed. Now we come on to the SOAP based communication. This is not a Lux SOAP, this is a Java SOAP. We have simple object access protocol. We come up with the object. We come up over here with the objects. Now we are transmitting each and everything in the terms of object. But in the kinds of XML, we are transmitting the object to data and data again to object. It is everything available into the XML. In this SOAP, data is well defined in an XML format. If let's say we have employee data. Employee must be in a certain organization. Organization must come in certain industry, and employee